Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fathil Hadi bin Muhammad Yusri from class RSR 113-2A. Today, me and my friend want to share to you about an interesting short story which title named The Lion King. The story begins in the Pride Lands, an area in Kenya, Africa, ruled by a pride of lions. Its leader, King Mufasa, who rules benevolently from his home, Bright Rock, attends the presentation of his newborn son, Simba, to assembly of animals that make up the kingdom. His advisor and shaman, baboon named Rafiki, hoists young Simba into the air atop a rocky pinnacle and the animals cheer. Mufasa waved his hand across the land explaining that Simba will be responsible for it once he becomes king. He also explained the circles of life, that sacred relationship between birth and death that connects all living creatures. As Simba comes of age, Mufasa's younger brothers, Scar, seek to usurp the throne. Scar plans to kill Mufasa and Simba. He lures Simba and his best friend and future wife and queen of pride, the young lioness Nala, to explore a dangerous elephant graveyard. There, the trio of spotted hyenas loyal to Scar ambushes them. Mufasa, learning about the ambush from his messenger humble, Zazu, rushes to rescue the cows. Though Mufasa is angry with Simba, he forgives him, taking him to a field and explaining that the king of the past watched from the stars, just as he will one day watch over the prides of Africa. After his failed attempts to kill Simba, Scar lures him and Mufasa into a ravine where His Highness causes a stampede of wild beasts, hoping, hoping to have them trampled. Scar lures Simba first, and then defies Mufasa of Simba's dangers. Mufasa rushes to save Simba again but is left hanging off the edge of the ravine. Scar approaches and instead of saving him, throws him into a ravine where he dies. Scar convinces Simba that Mufasa's death was his own fault, leading him to leave the kingdom. After Simba flees with the hyenas in pursuit, Scar tells the rest of the pride that the wild beasts killed both Mufasa and his son Simba. He becomes a new king, allowing his previously excommunicated hyenas and their pack to come live in the Pride Lands.
Simba, exhausted in the desert, is rescued by a meerkat and warhawk, Timon and Pumbaa. He grows up with them in the jungle, learning to create a carefree life and adopting a new motto, Hakuna Matata, meaning no worries. One day, a hungry lioness comes to hunt Timon and Pumbaa. Simba intercepts her, discovering that she is Nala. They fall back in love, and Nala tells him to come home, conveying that the Pride Lands have fallen into drought and despair. Simba refused and ran away, unwilling to cope with returning to the site of his father's death. He finds Rafiki, who says that Mufasa is still alive in Simba. Mufasa's spirit appears in the stars, telling Simba that he must live on as a king. Simba is convinced to return home. Simba covertly returns to Bright Rock, confronting Scar. Scar tries to exploit Simba's insecurity about his role in Mufasa's death, backing him to the edge of Bright Rock. There, he reveals that he killed Mufasa. Overcome with anger, Simba throws himself onto Scar. Pinning him down, he forces Scar to announce the truth to the pride. His friends Timon, Pumbaa along with Rafiki, Zazu and the lioness fight off the hyenas while Scar tries to escape. Simba corners him and Scar begs for mercy, offering to betray his highness. Simba agrees on the condition that Scar is banished from the Pride Land, but Scar tries to attack him, and Simba throws him from the rock. He survives the fall but is killed by the hyenas who overheard his betrayal. Rains begin to fall as Simba regains the kingship and life comes back to the brightness. The book concludes as Rafiki holds up Simba and Nala's milk up to the assembly of animals, repeating the cycles of life.
Okay, I want to ask you a few questions about this story. First, can you tell me about the main character, Simba?
Simba is the only son of Mufasa, the king of the Bright Lands and ruler of Bright Rock. His mother is Queen Sarabi, and he is the nephew of King's brother Scar, who sees a political opportunity in the young cub's trust in him, and working to his disadvantage as well as defining his character. Is Simba's mischievous, adventuresome spirit, which he indulges at every chance with his friends Nala.
How about conflict of the story?
Conflict. Conflict of this story, I guess, when Simba had an evil Uncle Scar who believed that he had the right to be king, but he befriends the Highness to devise a plot to overthrow his brother and Simba's father's King Mufasa. Yeah.
Next, what the scene that surprised you?
The part the part that surprised me is when Simba refused and unwilling to cope with returning to the side of his father's death, because I thought he really want to go back to the home after meets with Nala, but it's not happened. Finally, Simba is convinced to return home after meet with Rafiki.
What the moral value of the story?
The circus of life, yes. We should be surprised that there's violent and tragic deaths in this film, because if we were paying attention, that they basically tell us right up front in the opening song, Circle of Life by Elton John. The Circle of Life teaches us that we are born and then we all die, and then more people creatures are born and they die too, and somehow this is a good and beautiful thing.
Last question. What is the message of this story?
Amazing thing. The Lion King sends important message regarding friendship, love, and hope. Simba makes amazing relationship throughout his journey that helps guide him to the lion he eventually grows up to be, and secure the bravery and strength he needs when facing his evil uncle. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now I would like to ask you, in your opinion, what's up with the title? I mean, why does the story called The Lion King?
This movie's title is very straightforward. The Lion King is the title given to the male ruler the Bright Lands. Not only is just ruler the alpha lion of his pack, he is also a widely acknowledged symbol of goodness and justice, which is why Scar could hold onto the title for that long. The Lion King is about Simba realizing that he needs to become the Lion King.
I'm agree with you. And in your opinion, what is the theme that fits to the Lion King story?
In my opinion, one of the central themes of the story is the circus of life. Early in on The Lion King, Mufasa explained to Simba that lions aren't necessarily dominant just because they are predators, since when they die, they become dirt, which grass grows from, which they prey feeds on.
Yes, that's true. I'm agree. And what are the genre of this story actually?
I think that genre of the story is coming of age, I guess, because we are reading a young cub grow into an adult lion and assume all the responsibilities that come with adult lion heart. Then, it is comedy. Although The Lion King may be about some pretty serious stuff, it is still on the light-hearted side. After all, how serious can a story about a bunch of taking animals actually be?
Okay, now the questions about the setting. In your opinion, Where is the story take place?
Sub-Saharan Africa, although it's never explicitly stated. We know the Lion King is set somewhere in Africa. The setting, which eats tall grass and quadrupedal wildlife, resembles the African savanna pretty closely.
Alright, and the last questions. What is the point of view you got from the Lion King? Yeah.
The Lion King's narrative technique is pretty conventional. You've got your hero Simba, and you've got your villain Scar. We alternate between their two stories several times over the course of the film. Why? To build tension, and to emphasize the fact that the hero and the villain are just circling each other to the entire duration of the story, waiting to finally face off in the end. Every time we cut from the Simba to Scar, the audience wonders what Simba going to finally to do stop him.
Yeah. Thank you.